we observe today a celebration of freedom.
The day America sets aside to honor millions of our finest heroes. They are the men and women who defend our country and preserve our peace and freedom. Each time our nation has called upon our citizens to serve, the best have come forward. Where do we get such brave young Americans? We can and should take the opportunity on this Veterans Day to remember their gift to us. Veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom, where they've suffered the scars of war. All those who have served in America's uniform deserve the nation's thanks. Words could never express what the patriotism of generation after generation of American heroes means for the very soul of our nation. Because of you, America's best days are still to come. And with faith, freedom, and courage, there's no limit to what America can and will accomplish.
The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service around the globe. They called to bear the burden, a struggle against the common enemies of man. United, there is little we cannot do. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
Throughout our history, America's men in uniform have always been ready when the cause of freedom called, and they've never let us down. Our most recent heroes, those still serving, carried on with the same dedication and valor as their colleagues before them. If we remember that their dedicated service is in defense of our freedom, and if we understand that they put their lives on the line so we might enjoy justice and liberty, then their sacrifices will not be in vain. This is our obligation, and this has been the spirit of Veterans Day from the beginning.
In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. No video about any Karens or frauditors or traffic arrests or anything like that. Today being Veterans Day, just strictly dedicated to veteran-related material. That was the intro. A lot of us have seen that before. Interesting. But what I have here for us to enjoy is a video from Don Shipley on one of his Stolen Valor videos. This one's a pretty good one. It's one of my favorites. That's why I put it up here. So take 15 minutes out of your life and sit back and enjoy this, and let me know what you think in the comments.
SEAL stands for Surface, Water Surface. E, Earth, Land Surface. A, okay, for air. And L is for leadership.
SEAL stands for Sea, Air, and Land. Sea, Air, and Land.
I can be one of two things. I can be your best friend that will never give up on you. Or I can be your worst enemy. Just watch your mouth. You don't want to see what I can do. You don't want to see it.
The shitty part of all of this is what this project is for this young man. It's a Veterans History Project for something in New York, but the Veterans History Project that goes in the Library of Congress is just plagued with imposters that get up there and tell the most ridiculous stories to these people, and they're just held there for eternity for anyone to look.
Countries that I've been to, I can't tell you. Things that I did, I can't tell you. They're still restricted. My military record that is available to anyone who wants to go down to Washington to look at it. Nothing of my SEAL training from the day I left the ship to the day I retired is available without a majority vote of the Congress, both houses of Congress, and a unanimous vote of the United States Supreme Court.
United States Supreme Court, this is Diane.
Hi, Diane. This is Don Shipley, retired Navy SEAL. I was inquiring about Robert Dunn's military records. Has the both houses of Congress voted on that yet?
They have.
Has the Supreme Court unanimously decided to give me those records?
They did.
You think you can send them over to me?
I'll send them to you right away.
Thanks.
It is December 3rd. We are interviewing Rear Admiral Dunn, Robert Dunn. Go ahead. Okay, we're just going to start out with your name. So, please say your full name.
Robert Howard Dunn.
Does that look like a retired admiral to anybody? Really? I'm not quite sure where this kid came up with admiral, except that he had to have told him that. But the video caption is retired Master Chief. He wasn't an admiral. He wasn't even close to being a Master Chief either. But you can see his collar. He has 2 stars on there. He's also got the Master Chief pin. He's also got a Riverine patrol boat pin. He's also got a surface warfare pin. Everything about him, and especially that big trident on that hat, is such total bullshit. Oh, this guy.
I had to become a success as a gunner's mate.
Okay.
See, in the Navy, it's not only what you got in your head, it's what you can do with these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the two work hand in hand. I had to become a success as a gunner's mate before underwater demolition school was even an option.
Robert has a real problem with telling the truth about everything. He was a gunner's mate. That's it. His promotions are bullshit. He was discharged as a seaman, and he had a rack of trouble in the military. He got a lot of trouble. He got bounced around pretty good.
The only way I can answer the question involving Vietnam, what I did or didn't do in Vietnam, is to answer you this way. I was there. I was in the Delta, on the ground in the Delta with Marine Recon. I served on the river, the Mekong River. I also served as intelligence gathering in North Vietnam, in Cambodia, and Laos. Other than that, I cannot go into any other detail.
So you wouldn't, basically to prepare, you wouldn't shower, shave, or do any normal
2 weeks, nothing.
wash?
You didn't even brush your teeth. That's the reason I don't have any teeth now. You couldn't brush your teeth, you couldn't gargle, you couldn't walk, you couldn't do anything. Change clothes.
These stories, how they make these fucking stories up. How?
How many of these type operations were I involved in? You'll never learn it from me, because I took an oath that I would never divulge anything about it. That they existed. Did we get involved? Yeah. Everybody in the world knows that, but they don't know the pertinent information, the names, the dates, the places, what the mission was all about. I'm a Navy SEAL. I'll always be a Navy SEAL. My hands are registered weapons in 3 states because of the training. They know how to put it in, but they don't know how to take it out. That's the problem.
Fort Myers Police Department, Sergeant Diane.
Hi, Sergeant Diane. This is Don Shipley. I'm a retired Navy SEAL, and I submitted an application to have my hands registered as lethal weapons. I wonder if that's done processing. Has it been approved?
What's the name of your first pet?
Has it been approved?
What's your social security number?
I started SEAL training. I said a prayer. I prayed that, well, God, you know, this training is offered. They say they're going to test me beyond all endurance. But I know that if it's what you want me to do, I'll be a success. And all I did was try to the best I could do.
Just another quick tip. This whole Christian thing, guys wearing crucifixes around their neck, and I'm a Christian and Christians won't lie, and you know, standing up in front of the congregation and just talking all this stuff. Oh, he's a Christian, he'd never lie. Listen to me. They do, and they do plenty of it. When you see a guy wearing a big crucifix around his neck or something, or talking about being a Christian a lot, you better be paying damn close attention to that. They use that and use it often to build trust. Oh, he's a Christian. He would never break it off in my ass. Whang! They do. And you gals on those dating websites, Christian mingle is absolutely the worst. Oh, he's a Christian and a Navy SEAL.
Came a sniper, and I used a 50 caliber single shot rifle. To qualify as an expert, at 3 miles away, I had to hit a target that big. And actually I had the scope and all that to go with it. But to qualify as a SEAL sharpshooter, I had to take out a 4-inch square target 3 miles away. And this is what I mean by it. They knew how to put all this in you to key you up, but they didn't know any way to take it out. The only way they could take it out was to make you a mummy by medications. I take them today. I take them every day. I take them 3 times a day because I don't want to go back to jail. I know if I don't take the medications, I'm going to go back to jail because I'm going to do something that will warrant it.
I've said this time and time again that most guys I see that are claiming SEAL falsely and actually served in the military had a bad run in the military. It did not go well for them. Crappy discharge, break time, whatever. And we see a lot of criminal shit going on. And as Robert says here, yeah, he had some trouble on the outside, but he also had some trouble on the inside. Busted up and down, plenty of time in a hospital for whatever in the hell case it was, but he's been a lifelong fuck-up. A lifelong fuck-up. And that's all he is. And I say why these guys do it, it's called the hero syndrome. And you can Google that. But he wants respect. And he's about to start talking about respect. You'll see it when he talks about becoming an officer. Oh, this guy.
Yeah, that reminds us of our YouTube buddy. Actually, the person that drew my attention to Stolen Valor and got me interested in YouTube channels like Retired Master Sergeant T.A.T.S, the Stone Vet, and then this Don Shipley here, the video we're watching, who strictly goes after Stolen Valor and Navy SEALs because he was a Navy SEAL, and that's his. And he's got plenty of targets to go after. He doesn't need to broaden his spectrum at all. He got and Retired Master Sergeant, sharp as a tack. He's been extremely relevant in helping and defining and exposing Michael Kaiser here, aka Fraud Wrangler, who's just a low-life dirtbag criminal, period. I mean, just is what it is. The evidence is there. And actually watching on another browser an interview that's taking place with retired Master Sergeant. And I'm going to put a link to that in the description because it's a really good interview done by T.A.T.S. And I think everybody should take a few minutes to watch that. But, keep in mind that this is the character right here that Don Shipley is referring to. He had a rough go in the military. They didn't like that, and you know what? A lot of the frauditors are that way in general. They've got criminal history. They have trouble with the law. So, instead of conforming, they decide to take on the battle, and it's just nonsense. But that's Kaiser fits the bill here. He whatever it was he had, a few months of basic training, more or less looks like he was booted out. He never returned to even get his paperwork. So, what a piece of crap. Anyway, let's get back to the completion of this. It's just a few minutes left, and thanks for taking a little time out of your day to honor veterans today. Thank you again.
I was offered OCS. I declined it. My commanding officer said, "Why?" And I said, "Captain, respectfully, you don't want to know." He says, "Respectfully, Chief, I do want to know. Why?" He says, "We feel you would make a very good senior officer." And I says, "Sir, with all respect, I come in this outfit as an enlisted man. I intend to leave this outfit as an enlisted man. I get more respect as an E9 Chief Petty Officer than most of your commanders and lieutenant commanders do, from the men and the officers. The only thing you can offer me is more responsibility, and I don't need it." I had 24 years in at that time. I went to Dam Neck, Virginia as an instructor. Had a heart attack. The Navy, and its expressing its thanks for what I had accomplished, allowed me to stay in and finish 30 years. But I was a pencil pusher. I became a drug counselor. And that's how I finished my 30 years. The only thing I'd like to say is to young people like yourself, set yourself realistic goals. Do everything within your power to be a success at attaining that goal within a reasonable period of time. Don't give up. Quitters never win, and winners never quit.
Well said.
Finally, Robert's advice to the young guys. Good, solid advice. Absolutely. But from somebody that didn't fucking do it themselves. He is a lifelong fuck-up. And he runs around dressed up like that, and he tells those fucking stories to everyone that'll listen, and a lot of people actually do. Told it to that kid. It's on the record forever. That's why I do what I do. I'll correct those records. I will never stop.